Blessings and welcome everyone. It's time for another Vault video taken from a small series on spiritual awakening and starting solitary that I had put up on my Scarlet Moon Magic channel. This video itself is all about making the distinction between, say, using the law of attraction and manifestation, because they are not one and the same. Now, of course, the law of attraction itself is not a complete system. It's actually one half of one of 12 Hermetic principles. So we might come back and talk about those in another video. But in this video, I want to help illustrate a distinction between manifestation and attraction in order for people to be able to have more success with their work on whatever path they are on. I myself have always been one who prioritizes omnilingualism in everything I do. And so if I hear a term used a certain way, or somebody is wanting to have a spiritual conversation or share something about their path or learn something about my path, I want to be able to understand everything with them without necessarily having to worry about semantics or nomenclature. But at the same time, I do need to understand how people are using these terms in order to have the most productive conversation with them possible. So in this video, I decided to bring some clarity and a bit more of an expansion of the conversation to also help people understand what is going on in the difference between, say, attracting something that already exists or being a creator being and applying manifestation, conscious creation, magic to create something that at least at one point in time was not in existence, and then, of course, pull it into one's life. Enjoy. A lot of folks are using manifestation and attraction kind of interchangeably, and they're actually not the same thing. And the reason it's important to be able to draw a distinction is not necessarily just because we want to split hairs, but because it does change our approach to what we are using, what we are actually working with. To explain further though, and I do have to make this point, a lot of the idea behind, say, something like the law of attraction is that what we think and what we believe attracts our reality. But that's not necessarily the case. That's kind of an oversimplification. The way it really works is that what we think and we believe will start a chain reaction. And the chain reaction is actually what, attracts things that like attracts like into our reality. That chain reaction, hopefully, will proceed as follows. You will select a thought that you prefer, a thought that you want, an ideal, a wish, maybe an aspiration, and you will dedicate energy, action, and intention towards that thought. The thought itself isn't going to do a thing. Thoughts themselves do not actually carry a lot of energy, as they are very, very small. If we could actually quantify them in terms of weight, they're actually very small. So it's the additional energy, the additional intent being fed into it that will create something more. And that chain reaction would then change your vibration, or your frequency of the energy that comes from you, and thus draw you or something to you. The law of attraction is not to just simply think the thought or have the belief, but to actually set the chain reaction that changes the way your energy works. When we're trying to attract things to us, we're trying to attract things that are already in existence, and that's the big difference between manifestation and attraction. With attraction, you are trying to draw something to yourself that already exists in the external. Whereas with manifestation, you are creating an opportunity, or a situation, or an occurrence that does not exist. And that's a very important thing to understand when you are trying to put this to use. Because to manifest something, not only do we want to match the frequency of what we are manifesting, but we also want to create the vibration of what it is that we are manifesting. To attract something, we are changing ourselves to attract something to us that already exists. But to manifest something, we have to first create the vibration and put it out there of something that doesn't exist, and then draw it to us. So, or maybe she's manifesting a new place to live, When we think about that, manifesting a home that's not built yet versus attracting yourself to an opportunity to live in a home that's being built, that's already been established, that is a good way to also make that distinction. For energy is also a very important thing to keep in mind. And for those of you who are on the spiritual path, even though perhaps the practice of magic and witchcraft and the craft itself may not necessarily resonate with you, a lot of the principles that come to the modern, I guess you could say, explanations of spiritual awakening and spiritual practice are derived from the occult. Maybe the language may have changed in recent years, but a lot of the principles are actually taken from that very place. And the reason I say that is because I'm going to be making a special video for my Starting Solitary series coming up here on energy, thought forms, and spells for the purpose of manifestation. And while you may not necessarily be interested in casting spells, you may very well be interested in understanding how all those things come together to put that to use for yourself. So I hope you guys found this helpful, and I hope this gives you an idea of how you may want to look at a distinction between attracting something to yourself versus manifesting something out of nowhere. So I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And if you do know somebody who may be able to put this information to good use, send them a share and send them onto this channel. Thanks a lot for tuning in, everybody. I'll talk to you later.